What is the story, gang? Welcome back to the Iron Mindset. My name is Iron Ian and I will be your host, hopefully for no longer than 20 minutes. I do have a habit of going on, but you guys seem to like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. All right. So, this was a question I was asked in person in the gym the other day, and it was by one of the people I train, and they were like, I had mentioned that I use Audible, and they were like, you're so productive. Like, how do you manage to have time to do all these things? And I said, more or less, it's about making damn time. Plus, it doesn't take that much investment to listen to an audiobook. But the conversation moved towards ways that you can improve your life outside of strictly fitness, outside of the gym. Now, I actually have a bit of a pet peeve about trainers going all life coach and trying to give you some life advice. So understand that I make this video with some reluctance because I am not in a position to tell you how to improve your life. I don't know you. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know who you are, what you deal with on a day-to-day basis. So understand, this strictly comes from a place of things that have added to the quality of my life that I will now highlight for you. And you may take something from this. But understand that this is in no way a lecture or a life lesson or, wow, I'm a 22-year-old person that lives at home with my parents. But let me tell you, Mr. Trainer, what you should be doing, or what you should be doing, mum of 3 kids or dad of 3 kids that works 40 hours a week. Let me tell you what you should be doing to improve your life. Nah. Right? I'm not one of those fuckers, all right? I'm on the level. I'm saying this is what worked for me. This is all shit you've probably heard before, so that's my big disclaimer. So let's get into it. We'll have a quick chat, and naturally, any discussion points, get into my DMs across on the old IG, Instagram, at IronIanPT. Alright, so a big thing that was very helpful to me in the past year and a half or 2 years or whatever is get outside. So getting outside in the sunshine or just whatever weather it is. It's Ireland, so you never know what you're going to get. But let me explain. So up until the very first lockdown, I had this like super active life. The way work ran for me put a very distinct schedule on my week. So I'd work with my clients, and in my free time I always liked to be doing stuff. So I was usually very occupied. So when the lockdown came and like I couldn't see anyone and I couldn't go anywhere, and I'd only just moved here, so I didn't really know the area incredibly well, and I had not established the habit of doing things like going for a walk. All my steps were done in work. All my cardio was done in work. I never just arbitrarily went for a walk with no destination. If I was walking somewhere, it's because I had to go somewhere. So that was a difficult thing for me to learn initially, was to like just go outside for a walk. I remember one of the first couple of times I was walking in the local area here, and I was walking for about 10 minutes, and I was like, holy shit, how do people do this for like hours? Again, it's through small amounts of exposure. That's like, now I enjoy it, like, but at the time that was tough. So, but by proxy, getting outside, getting in the sun, made me feel quite good. Like, you know, I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's good correlation between feeling good, being out in the fresh air, changing up the sights and sounds you see, getting out in the sun whenever it decides to rear its ugly head, or, you know, even if it's getting out in a bit of drizzly rain, it makes you appreciate being at home in your warm, snuggly clothes. So rather than looking at the same 4 walls all day, especially because a lot of you guys are working from home, or, you know, the only couple of places you might be seeing at the moment is home and work, or home and work, and then the odd time you might go out and meet one of your friends, or, you know, the only other place you see is the gym. This is something you can do outside the gym that can add to your life. So you also get the passive benefit of going out for a walk, which, you know, especially if you're living a rather sedentary life outside of the gym, it wouldn't be a bad idea to be a teeny little bit more active. So getting outside, and then that kind of ties nicely into point number 2, which would be, it is to start to read. But more specifically, what I'm recommending is try audiobooks. A shocking lack of people actually read books. It shocks me. Like, a couple of years ago, I worked in an optician's, and most of the people that worked there read. So I naturally just, and, you know, a previous place I worked, a couple of people read. But since I've entered the fitness realm, So few people read for the enjoyment of reading. Now, I'm not to say people don't read. Like some of the guys out there are absolute like little nerds, and they like reading research and all these training books. And don't get me wrong, if I was to show you my Audible, you will see, I want to say at least half of the books I have on there are training books or like something to do with the gym. But beyond that, a lot of it is psychology, self-help, I guess is what people label them as. But is another one. And then like just other books that I'd be into. So like, fiction, non-fiction, fantasy, all this bullshit. But it's an enjoyable hobby that I can engage in that isn't strictly related to training in the gym. And it gives me something to, de-stress. Not that I'm ever really crazy stressed, but like, if I'm getting a bus somewhere, if I'm out for one of those aforementioned walks, I'm not just listening to music or a podcast. I've got a whole heap of audiobooks. So I recommend to try Audible. I did this in the first lockdown. I suppose I can extend the invitation again. The way Audible works is it's a monthly subscription. You get a book credit. Now you can just buy the books outright on it, but they're more expensive. So just doing the book credit per month is a good deal to me. So what I can give you, and this is like, I don't get enough views for this to be an affiliate thing. As I mentioned, I did this last year. I put a post on Instagram. If you would like to try an audiobook from my library, what I can do is I can send that to you as a gift, as an invitation onto Audible, and you'll get the book for free in your first month for free, I think. So if you want to try that, just DM me and I can send you a link for that. Again, I don't get anything for it. It's not a referral or anything, but I do genuinely think more people would enjoy audiobooks if they gave them a chance, yeah? Because once you get into it, like, I can do things like cook my dinner and wash my laundry and all that crap while enjoying a book. I don't have to actively sit down and make it a task, So that's a big one. Now look, if you like sitting down with a book, I do too. The problem for me is the moment I open the book, I'm asleep. So that's a big one if you want to try, like, expand your mind a little bit, find out some opinions that you don't necessarily agree with or some other perspectives, or, do a thing a lot of people don't do these days and actually learn about the things you have opinions on. So reading or audiobooks is a massive one, and we'll add to those walks I mentioned. Point number 1, and this kind of comes full circle, point number 3, that's have hobbies outside of lifting. So it doesn't matter what it is, just engage in a hobby that isn't strictly lifting. Lifting's great. Like, I'm lucky because one of my favorite activities is training with weights. And I also work in an environment where I train with weights. And I compete in a sport where you lift weights. So all these things kind of go together. And then one of the hobbies I have, I won't get into it, but like there's books on these things. Like, so it'd be more linked towards psychology and social dynamics, let's just say. So that's something I'm interested in, and it's something I can engage with in this realm of also with my audiobooks. Previously, like the guy, what a great example is Mario and Vinny, the boys, they love camping. They're really into camping. They've both been into airsoft and things like that. So they have hobbies outside of just strictly lifting in the gym. So have other things to talk about. It's enjoyable. So that would be a massive one. Just something else, you can go meet some different people in different social groups, which brings me on to the next point. This is all in an effort to keep this under 20 minutes. Engage with like-minded people, again, outside of strictly the gym. Now, there might be some crossover here. And again, there's nothing wrong with gym as a culture. It's just for you to enrich your damn life and meet some new people. Talk to people outside of the realm of the strictly lifting. You never know, you might actually end up introducing them to lifting, which would be great. And they might introduce you to other things. So engage with people that are maybe into some other bits and pieces and see where they're going, see what they're doing, see what it's all about. It doesn't matter. It could be cars, could be a sport, could be, a recreational hobby like hiking, or what's it, the place awesome old rock climbing, trampolining, and what's that place, jump zone, whatever you're into, so there's these 4 points already will help enrich what you do, not just outside of work and outside of home and outside of lifting. That's the point, or that's the point. It will enrich the environment outside of those things. Again, this is probably a little disjointed because, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is not necessarily a video I'm trying to aim at. This is something you should do. You should improve your damn life. For all I know, your life is pretty damn good. I'm just giving some insights into other things that may add to that a little bit. Again, because it came off as a conversation and they asked, would you make a video about something like that? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And here I am with it in front of me. So the last point then, and it looks like we'll actually get to keep this nice and short. Great. is keep a schedule. So I think this is my one and not Vinny's. I do everything. There goes my pen. I do everything with an old school diary. Jacob Pratt bought me that diary when he visited the pavilion one day. So why a diary? Because that means I can open up my diary and look at my week. I put everything in there, from everything work related, client related, personal life, like if I'm going to somewhere to eat, if I want to go see a movie, if I have an appointment somewhere, I put it all in there, and that helps me to plan out and pace out my week a lot more efficiently than if I put it on this thing. Now, some people like the device because they can just look at it whenever they want. So can I. And the best thing about that is I don't get WhatsApp and Instagram messages on that. So when I'm doing my schedule, I can focus solely on doing my schedule without having the constant stream of interruptions we get from these little guys. All right. So those are the 5 pieces of advice. Now, look, I could go on and on and on. I could start including things like, make an appointment with yourself every week to take an hour out and do something just for you. Whatever that might be. Invest in yourself. Invest in your education. Start a side hustle. Whatever it might be. We could get into all this shit. But these are just 5 little bits and pieces that I definitely feel like I've added to my life. Like one recently, I don't know if I mentioned in one of the other videos, I was in Killarney recently, had a great time. And I got to cycle a bike for the first time in probably 16 years. So it was great crack. I did go flying off at one time. Though I'm fine, obviously, I still have the money maker. So, but I really, really enjoyed it. So I am planning to purchase a bike literally probably tomorrow. So by the time this video goes out, I've probably been in the process of getting that bike. But that's like just a small little fun thing that I want to do for myself. And it's nothing to do with lifting. It's just me wanting to have a little bike to rip around swords on and hopefully not get hit by a car. All right. Anyway, that is that topic wrapped up. I don't really think there's a whole pile more to discuss on that one, team. But if anyone does have any questions or queries or any information or any points to make on that one, you know where to get me. It's across on Instagram at IronIanPT. I will add links are always down below. I actually, you know what, that caption automatically attaches to the videos, and I think I wrote it really lazily when I put the first video up, so I should probably edit it at some stage to make it a bit fancier, but whatever. In any case, if you want to hit me up, you know where to find me. Gang, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good one. I feel like I was meant to say something else, but you know what? I can't remember. So I'm going to go. All right. Have a good one, team. And I will catch you on the flippity flap.